Hi, I'm Bob, and I've been struggling for the last 2 years with slugs getting out my raised bed and eating up everything I've planted. So I decided to try and find a better solution. I tried all the standard techniques of slug pellets, which I don't like and don't want to use anymore, and they sort of half worked. I've tried little gels, they don't work. In fact, then I decided to run a controlled experiment whereby I took a flat board and then I put a slug in the middle of it and then surrounded it by the various methods that are claimed to protect against slugs, be it a piece of copper wire or a gel or some granules or whatever. Truth is, none of them worked except one. When I put 2 pieces of copper wire down in parallel, put a 9-volt battery over it, the slugs didn't get across that, or if they did, they didn't survive it. So that gave me the idea. Now here on my raised beds, the slugs hide underneath the sleepers, and I observe them climbing out in their masses at night, up and then on and devouring my lettuces or brassicas or whatever it happens to be. So what I've done is I've ran around the edge of my raised bed. I've got 2 beds here, I'll show you this one. 2 pieces of galvanized wire in a loop, about 10 millimeters apart. Now that I've then connected that loop, or each loop, to a 15-volt power supply, which is over here. Now what this is actually is a car battery charger, effectively. Now if you're going to do this, you've got to use one that's got a current limiter. Otherwise, you do risk, or you will get short circuits, frankly, on the loops because of rain or because of the slugs themselves, etc. But car battery, out of that's coming about 15 volts, and that's obviously connected to the mains. I've used a waterproof box here because it's external. You have a choice. You can either keep the charger effectively inside and only have low voltage outside, which is ideal. I'm too far away from the home to do that, or you can use a waterproof cage like this and minimise the length of the connection that's mains. Whatever you do though, make sure that you're conforming to electrical standards and you're using the right materials. So how does this work? Well, out come the slugs at night. The slugs climb up the side of the sleepers. Obviously it's not dark at the moment, so they're not doing it. And once they bridge the 2 pieces of galvanized wire, which have got the 15 volts on them, then they're either immediately repelled or they're killed. Sometimes they just fall off, other times they actually get incinerated effectively on the wire. Nothing else gets harmed, and that's really important. It's only the slugs that get deterred. I've not seen any other evidence. Because it's a vertical surface, it doesn't affect the birds, and I've not seen any other creatures that have been damaged by it. And obviously it doesn't pollute the soil, and it kills them fairly humanely, I would suggest, although I'm no expert on how slugs die. So that works. I've been running it now for 2 years. It doesn't eliminate everything because you will have slugs in the soil. So it won't clear it completely, and I've found that putting effectively beer traps catches the odd 1 or 2 that are still rampant among the plants. But here we are. I'm in May. It's peak season for slugs, and things I couldn't grow before, like French beans and brassicas and so forth, and lettuces. I'm growing and runner beans, which I've never succeeded in doing, although that may well have been the birds, not the slugs. I'm getting on fine. So all good stuff. So this seems to work very effectively. So this is my recommendation for those with raised beds that have got slug problems. Here's a solution. So to summarize, 2 loops of wire connected, each loop connected to the positive and negative, or if it's AC, either side of a voltage supply, typically around 12-15 volts. Battery charge is ideal. But you need to make sure that it's suitably housed in a waterproof container and you're conforming to any electrical constraints and regulations. But if you keep all the high voltage indoors, you're pretty safe. If not, you've got to waterproof it all. So that's it. It works for me. Hope it works for you. Take care.